Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is Blueprints by Z-Man Games, and it is designed by Yves Tourigny. I'm sorry. Interesting. This is very hard to find now. I mean, you can't buy it at any reasonable price online. Hopefully a reprint's coming along, but I played it. I really enjoyed it. And then I had to search around, and actually Keith Mateka had a copy of it. I don't think it was an extra copy, but a copy. He's a dice guy, and he sent it along for me. He didn't say whether I had to give it back. I'm not sure. Perhaps not. I hope not, because I really enjoy playing it. Also worth note, I don't usually sleeve. He's sleeved, and this bag I don't believe is from a different game, or there was a black bag in here in the I think the retail version. So that's a custom bag or whatever. So Blueprints is a little bit of an earlier dice manipulation building game. Not really too much manipulation, actually, just dice building. That I think is at sort of the beginning of more and more games coming out. It may not have been the first, but really nice flow and very quick play. Simply, each player is going to be dealt a building blueprint, which is going to show the type of building they're trying to make, and essentially how you construct it out of dice. So you actually don't have to construct your building exactly, but if you do, you get bonus points. You can't construct on the blocked out areas. So each player is going to get dealt their building. They keep it behind a shield. Shield has a lot of good scoring on the back. And there are going to be dice. Depending on the number of players, there are different amount out. Like in a 3-player game, which we played last night, I think it was 9, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So there are going to be 9 dice. The rest are in the bag. They get rolled. And just to move them into a spot where you might see them, they are set in front of all the players. Then in turn order, players are all just going to basically draft a single die. So there's a big pool. You're drafting one, and the pips and the color matter. After you draft one, you just add one. So essentially, you're just drafting from 9, and it's just getting refilled as you go. And then actually, 2 dice get put out as tiebreakers by color. So if there are any ties, that just is set there. When you're building, you can the one rule in terms of building, other than you can't build on the white, is that you have to place equal or higher dice on top of dice. So essentially, you want the dice near the bottom to be the low numbers, so that you're not in a situation like if I did all 6s, I'd only be able to build with 6s. And since it's more dice drafting than dice manipulation, you can't really change a 6 into anything else. So you just have to be careful as you're building. And again, you don't have to match the building, so you can sort of have you can have a different type of building. So that's the basic mechanics of the game. In terms of scoring, what you're going to be doing is there is a reward for having the most beautiful building, which is based on your die choices and use, which I'll talk about in a second. But what's interesting, it's the score track you're moving down, but this isn't a game score track. You'll score 30, 40, 50 points, but then essentially first place just gets a gold medal, bronze, or silver, or bronze, depending on how many players, but they're just worth a few victory points. There are also 5, I thought there were 5, maybe there's 4, this gets 4 other bonuses that you can also get by using 5 of the same color, 5 high, 4 of the same number, or 6 different, like a straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your pips. So these are also awards that can be received, and frankly, if you're able to do something like 5 of the same color, all with the same number, that's 4 points. That's worth more than coming in first. So these are really good ways to score, and that's one of the things that's nice. At first, everyone's racing for beauty, which is this track, but these are really useful. There's only one per round, though, so if a bunch of people all have the same color, you'll have the tiebreaker, which is, again, you basically say who has the most greens, they'll win. If there's another tie, who has the most orange. The only other interesting thing here is around the dice scoring. They all score differently. The see-through dice are glass, and you get their score in pips. So if I use a 6 pip in my building, I'm going to get 6 points when we score it out. Greens are based on how many you have. So like if you have 1, it's worth 2, but if you have all of your dice as green, it's worth like 30 points. Orange, which are what on green are recycled material, orange score by the number adjacent. So if they're between 2 dice, it would be worth 4 points, and if there was a die on top here, it'd be worth 6. So you're sort of how you build, and the black dice are worth points based on their height in the building, and I think they're metal or something. So you have this interesting engagement where you're trying to fit your space. You have to deal with the restrictions, and you're just using the materials to score the most points while keeping in line with these different cards and stuff. I really enjoy this game. It's like simple. It's fast. Look, it's not as complex as Sagrada. It's not as complex as Role Player. It's not as complex as some of the other dice games out there. But I do feel that the combination of color scoring and the sort of goal-oriented piece and the construction piece is very satisfying. I have a quibble, and I've been thinking about and talking with friends on how you might solve it, and I don't know. But there's this weird mechanism, and it's not the end of the world, but it's like somebody takes one, you roll one, and you put it out. It's like somebody takes one, and you roll one, and you put it out. And in every game I've played, there's always a time when the person in charge of that just forgets because they're thinking about what they're doing, and it's always adding one die. It's just this real game minutia that I wish there was a different way of solving, right? Like, I don't know if you could just have a little tunnel and they solve it all and you push them out, or some sort of dice tower. I don't know exactly, but it just feels weird. It feels like you want to be adding more dice. The game works great, so I know why they don't, and you want to have that pool, but it feels like just flipping out one new die every decision is odd. I don't know. Maybe you could roll a bunch, everyone goes, and then you add some more. But I don't actually know that it's needed or even good. It was just, every time I play, I just sort of feel like, man, I wish we were doing more than just flipping out one die a turn. I highly recommend this game. I really enjoyed it. I think it's hard to find, but hopefully a reprint is on the way, or somebody else will pick it up, or whatever. But anyway, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.